Good morning, Kingdom Builders. Today is another day of awareness. It's day 6 of our 30-day challenge in the art of no complaining. The challenge is for 30 days, we're going to minimize, reduce, and for some of us, we'll eliminate our complaining. So today I want to talk about how we complain in ways that we don't even realize it. Because complaining is not our true essence. I don't think it's godly. I think when we complain, we're giving yield to a part of us that's acknowledging lack. And we all do it, and we all hear it. There's this different level of complaining. I'm not talking about the grumbling that we read about with the Egyptians. I'm talking about the subtle complaining. Some people call it stealth complaining or venting, discreet venting or veiled venting. It's a way to express a dislike or something you don't agree with or a grievance without sounding like you're complaining. So we're going to call it masked complaining because it wears a mask. It can come in the form of a joke, sarcasm, even just an observation. And so I'm going to give you some examples today. And part of today's challenge is to just identify those areas where you're not being honest with yourself, that you're complaining. So the first example is the humble complainer, the person who thinks they're expressing humility, but they're really complaining deep down. So they'll say something like, "Oh, I'm just so tired right now. Everybody keeps coming to me, and it's just exhausting. I honestly don't know how I managed to keep up." Now, it looks like there's somebody who is valuable, who's indispensable, and they have a great work ethic. But the complaint is really, I'm really working too hard, and nobody's helping me. And some of us can relate to this. We might be in a position where we feel like we're carrying too much of the load, and we express it in a genuine, nice way. Another one is one that we see in our Western culture here, the must be nice. And you tell somebody you're going on a vacation, and they say back to you, "Oh, it must be nice. I wish I could just ignore my responsibilities and, do what you guys do, but my schedule is just too packed." Or you leave your kids at home and do something, or you just do something that they are not in a position to do. It must be nice. So they're commenting or commending or giving credit to what you're doing. They look like they're complimenting your lifestyle or your freedom, but they're really complaining. They're expressing envy or bitterness about their own situation and somehow trying to make you feel guilty. Must be nice. Another one, and these are all subtle. We don't look at them as complaining, but deep down inside, they are expressing some level of dissatisfaction. Another one is when we kind of express the opposite of what we want to make it seem like we're sacrificing. It's almost like we're the modern day martyr. So you go out to dinner or you're going out somewhere and, "Oh no, you guys can go ahead. I'll clean up. I'll stay behind and finish cleaning up all this mess all by myself. You guys go have fun." And deep down inside, the complaint is, you guys are leaving me to do this hard work, and I want you to feel guilty about it. And guys, this is not all the time. These are just examples, okay? Because sometimes I've done this, and I've genuinely just wanted someone to go have fun while I clean up the mess. I was okay with the sacrifice. And other times, it's been a very subtle, cry for help, almost. The next example is when we compare. Oh my goodness, your house looks so amazing. I'm so jealous. My OCD just takes off if there's any dishes or dirt. Can I clean up? And the mask is that they're really complimenting your home, but they're trying to say is your house is messy. And I think my standard of cleanliness is bigger than yours, and I'm guilty of this one. I'm a big stickler for people's cars being clean, and if I get in your car and it's filthy, I may, if depending on who you are, I may say something, that seems like a compliment, but it's really me masking my complaint. Another one that I think is common to most people, because these, so far, these may not apply to you, but the goal here, these are just examples. The goal here is to identify areas in your life where you're subtly complaining. You may not recognize it because it's so subtle. The next one is the weather. Complaining about God. It's raining again. Great. It always rains on Friday. Every single time I plan something outdoors, God decides to ruin it. And this is the extreme, okay? But it looks like you're just stating a fact. It looks like you're just having a conversation. It doesn't look like a complaint. People say these things casually, but deep down inside, it's saying that you feel like God is targeting you for this minor inconvenience to you. Oh, it's raining again. Every time I try to go out. I remember when we used to travel when my son was younger, and it was just very interesting. Someone made an observation that every time we were about to travel, my son would get sick or some type of sickness, and it was just interesting to me. Another example is when we give feedback or disclaimer. We literally say, well, I'm not trying to complain, but, and then we state our complaint as if it's just stating facts. And this is another one that I'm very guilty of because you try to find a way not to make it seem like you're complaining, but you really are. Even though you are just stating facts. I'm not trying to complain, but the way that you're doing things, it just takes too long. It's just an objective fact. It's just less efficient in the way that I do things. And the complaint is really, I don't like how you do things, and I want you to do it my way. And I don't want to look like the bad guy by complaining. And the next one would be when we complain about our schedule. Yeah, I'd love to come to your house, but I'm too busy. I'd love to come over, but I don't have the time because I have all these meetings. What are you really saying? What are you really saying at that point? You're too stressed out by your schedule, but I also want you to know how important I am because I am too busy. And that's two different things. That's complaining and almost a level of arrogance. And again, this is very subtle. We don't look at it as complaining. And some of you might disagree, and that's okay. I just want you to examine, because these are examples, okay? The goal here is not to crucify you. The goal here is to look deep and to see where these apply in your life. And if not, what hidden complaints are you harboring on a day-to-day basis? And there's another one. It's like a backhanded nostalgia. Oh, it's so great that you found a car that gets you from Atlanta to, or that gets you from A to B. I remember when I used to drive that junk car before I got my Mercedes. It really builds character. So it looks like I'm reminiscing about the good old days, But I'm really complaining about your car, saying, and I'm not guilty of this. So I'm just thinking of examples, but it's when we give a backhanded compliment almost, telling people how far we've come. I've moved past that stage of life. Your car is old, cheap. I remember when I used to do that. And then there's another one. I'll give you two more, and I think you're getting the message by now. Let's say you go out to eat and somebody's taking too long to bring the water. You say something like, man, they must be understaffed tonight, but they're trying. They're doing their best. And the mask is you're showing empathy and understanding for the coworkers, but you're really saying the service here is too slow and I'm starting to get irritated. I've been a victim of this one. It must be a busy night. Or the worst one is when you go somewhere and it's not busy. You're probably one of the few people in there and they're not understaffed, but the service is taking too long and you express the dissatisfaction. The last one that I can think of is the defensive, when you are sort of preemptive, okay? I already know that this restaurant is not going to be good. I already know that the food here sucks. But whatever, let's go and let's see how bad the wait is. And you claim you're being a realist. You might have looked at the reviews or heard from somebody else or managing expectations. But the complaint is, I don't want to go here. And if it goes badly, I want credit for predicting it. Don't say I didn't warn you. Don't say I didn't tell you. Let's go do it. Okay, I'll give it a try. And at the root of all this, it comes back to our art of allowing. We don't need to express any of this stuff. What good is this actually doing? These are not helping the situation. They're not advancing any of our points. It's just chatter. And so the less we vocalize or even think about some of these negative thoughts, and sometimes they might not be negative, they just will be unproductive. So today, as we start this new day, day 6, let's just monitor the unproductive, negative, subtle, the sneaky ones that come in and try to rule our world. Have a great day. Catch you guys later.